let's come on to a new thing now, which is about how you tolerated treatment and whether there were any complications.
Yeah.
How did you get on with the treatment as it unfolded, and how did your body respond? In other words, how successful was it for you?
When I first had my first treatment, I had ABVD, chemo ABVD, and when I had that, unfortunately my first actual chemo, I reacted to it. They done it via the cannula, and I reacted, which basically made my nerves get damaged, and they said that my chemo leaked, and I had major nerve pain, and I was in hospital straight away. But then they said there is a solution to it, and it is common, and basically they'll put a PICC line in your arm, which is a permanent cannula, which made a huge difference. I did have side effects. I was in hospital quite a few times, but on whole, the treatment, it was very successful. The thing with my diagnosis was, though, they initially said 3 months of my treatment. So I thought, okay, fine, 3 months, it'll be over before it's even started. But because of the type of cancer I had and my age, they didn't want to give me radiotherapy. So 2 treatments into it, they extended my treatment to 6 months instead of 3 months. That was quite hard to accept because I was hyped up and like, yes, it'll start and it'll be over before it's even started. But then I thought, okay, you know what, it doesn't matter, another 3 months, what would that do? And the positive thing was that it was reacting. So they saw results straight away, that it was shrinking, which I thought, okay, fine, and by then it'll be gone, hopefully. And yeah, within 6 months, I was cured.
During that period, were you coming in to the ward to get your treatment on the chemotherapy suite, or did you have to be an inpatient again, or what happened?
Whenever I had my treatment, I was always just coming into the chemo suite, but in between I was in the Osborne building when I was basically had to ring the line when I was ill, temperatures, and I was in for a few nights in and out. But for my actual treatment, I was in the chemo suite.
So you had a few complications here and
Yes,
there.
I did. Like I said, the chemo, when it leaked, I had really bad pains in my back. I suffered with gastritis, sickness, diarrhea, infections, because obviously our immune system is very low, so just a cold would be a major thing. So I was in and out, which was frustrating, to be honest. It was frustrating. I was fed up. I was like, I'm already going through chemo, and then I'm having this. I want to just be normal, and you do feel down. You do have your very down days, but you got to realize that every day is a good day, and you know what? It does get better. It does, and you will feel like that.
Did you try to keep going because you knew you were doing it for a purpose, even though it was hard to tolerate?
Yeah, definitely. I just kept looking around at my family and my 2 kids, and I thought, you know what, I have to do this. I'm not going to sit there and feel sorry for myself and say, oh, this is the end, because it's not. And I mean, generally, the researchers have come so far, and cancer's dangerous and a risk as how it was before, like life-threatening as it was before. There's so many cures out there. I mean, like when I was diagnosed, the consultant said to me that, you know what, you're lucky. This is the most easiest, common cancer you can have, type of cancer you can have. And that was a positive in itself, that yes, I've got cancer, but you know what, it's not as bad, it will get cured.
You know, when you were struggling with those really down periods, particularly when you had those maybe infections going on,
Yeah.
was there anything you could do to keep going, like in a practical sense? Was perhaps, I don't know if the family were even allowed to visit then, but what would you say would be little tips that other people could take away as ways to get through those hard times?
Yeah, family was definitely allowed to visit, and I think the most important thing is accepting help, accepting to ask for help. Don't feel like you're not able to do anything. And because I felt like, no, I have to still carry on, I have to be normal, I have to, because you almost feel like you're not normal when you go through the treatment. That's how I felt, like I'm not myself, and I wouldn't accept help. But you have to just take a step back, take a rest when you want one, ask for help when you need to, and accept everybody around you. There will be families and friends who are distant, but that's only because they don't know how to cope with it themselves, and they don't know how to react, because at that time you don't see it, but afterwards you do see that, you know what, everyone around you who saw you, they're suffering as well. It's not just ourselves, it's everybody. So no, take a rest and just accept help.